Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. The middle of the week. Another week is going by quick. And this is In the Raw, unscripted, unpracticed, unedited conversation. And I want to talk about a word that we don't hear too often. And it might have different meanings. And the word is mission. When you think of mission, the first thing I think about it when I hear the word mission is the churches that were planted by the Frailes along the California, along the state of California, and actually started down in Mexico and up to the California. But the word mission has different meanings, like I said. That's one of the meanings, right? But what does it really mean, mission? I also think about like when the military, they go on missions. You hear about that, or you see it in movies. They go on a mission, or excuse me, or astronauts go on a mission in outer space. So there's different connotations to this word, different meanings. But the meaning I want to talk about is about our mission. What is our mission? And so, what are we here for? What are we supposed to do? I don't know if you've had time to think about it, or if you've ever thought about it, but mission is, we have a mission. We don't exist just because. There's a reason, there's a purpose for us to exist and to do what we do. And another word that I'm going to relate to this, it may not make sense to you at this moment, is the word grace, because there is grace in what we do. And this message that we have, the mission is full of grace. And what does the word grace mean? Grace means it's not receiving what we deserve. That's what grace is. Especially if we've done something that is not good, we deserve a consequence. Well, grace is not receiving that consequence. And I want to go to a passage found in Matthew chapter 5. And if you know anything about Matthew chapter 5, it's known as the Sermon of the Mount. And this is where Jesus is teaching his disciples. And some commentators say that Jesus intended to teach this to his disciples and not the crowd. But I imagine that people started to come closer to listen as Jesus began to speak. And then it ended up being for everyone. And hundreds of thousands of people have benefited from this, and to this day. And in this teaching, Jesus gives them what is known as the Beatitudes. And through these Beatitudes, Jesus begins to announce the arrival of a new kingdom. And whenever there's a new kingdom, there's a new way of thinking. Kind of think of it as like when there's a new government, right? New government, there's a new way of thinking. There are new values. There's a new way of living. And to me, it impresses me how Jesus begins his speech, because he begins with grace. He's going to talk about the mission, our mission, why we exist, but he starts this with grace. And it says this, Matthew 5, verse 3, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." So back to the word mission. What is a mission? How is it different from, let's say, vision? Because those two words are kind of used interchangeably. And so the easiest way that I can look at these two words is Mission is no vision. Sorry, vision is the what. What am I going to do? Mission is the how am I going to do it? Make sense? So vision is what I'm supposed to do. You know, every company, every organization has a vision, what they're going to do, what they're going to accomplish. The mission is how am I going to do this? How am I going to accomplish this? How are we going to, you know, what strategy are we going to use? And that's what I want to talk about. You know, we all have a mission. We all have a how we do things. You know, we all have something that we have a different way of doing things. You know, so we all have this mission, and I think, you know, we can think of so many different things that, you know, that we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it. But I think if we look at a common mission in humanity is to help each other. Is to help each other, is to make each other better, build each other up. So we're called to build the lives of others, right? We influence others by the things that we do and how we do them. And you might say, well, that's something for somebody else. That's not for me. That's not what I'm all about, right? I have no capacity in building other people's lives, you know, or the calling for that matter. But whether you like it or not, we are all influencing other people by the things that we do, by how we live our lives. You know, we are building others or not by how we are portraying ourselves to others. And what Jesus is saying is this: in my new kingdom, I want to use you, those who are poor in spirit, those who mourn, those that are meek, etc., etc. And so do you see how this is a message of grace that Jesus is giving? Because he wants to use us who are weak, who don't think that we can do this, and to fulfill this mission that we all have. All right, we're going to continue talking about this in the next few videos, so hopefully I will see you back here again. Have a great rest of the week. We will talk to you soon.